Weather for Weather Geeks here on the 6th day of November in 2017. Hello once again, everyone. Boy, am I tired. Been put through the meat grinder over the last 24 hours or so. Of course, we had severe weather last evening. Today has been spent recapping that and catching up with that and talking about what happened, why it happened, catching up with the National Weather Service information statements regarding who got a tornado, who did not, and sorting through all that. And then this evening I gave my winter forecast again at the OSU Extension in Canfield at the annual my annual talk to them, the Nursery Association and landscapers. I always do my winter forecast for them at this time of the year, and I always have lots of great questions. And Leslie Barrett's husband is a big honcho over there, so he always invites me over to talk winter with them. So I always appreciate that. This isn't what I wanted to start with. Let's back up. That's the last thing I'm going to talk about. Let's talk about what happened last evening, and I'm going to break this down. Talk about Mahoning County, the tornado in Columbiana County, and the macroburst up in Ashtabula County in far northeastern Trumbull. First of all, this is right around the time of what appears to be not a tornado, but a microburst in the Boardman area. This, of course, is what damaged so heavily the Sweeney dealership and lots of other buildings and homes surrounding that area in Boardman, south of 224. Now, you look at the radar signature last night, and this was at 6:53. I was doing live streaming coverage on Facebook during this, and I was commenting how, hey, there's some rotation here. You got to keep an eye on this. And so it would not have surprised me if the Weather Service had determined this was a tornado, but in fact, they seem to be indicating that this was not a tornado, and they surveyed the damage, the patterns in the damage, and determined that this was more likely a downburst or microburst, straight line wind damage, in other words. So we'll hopefully get an official statement from them either tonight or tomorrow, but it looks unlikely that they're going to confirm this was a tornado in Mahoning County. What was confirmed as a tornado was this, down in Columbiana County around Calcutta last evening. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Let's do this. Another pretty good radar signature here. Here's the wind blowing away from the radar. Here's the wind blowing towards the Pittsburgh radar, and the rotation kind of, or the colors kind of meet up pretty close to Calcutta there, where the best rotation was, and confirmed EF1 tornado down there with maximum winds around 90 miles per hour. Now, up in southeastern parts of Ashtabula County and far northeastern Trumbull County, judging by the pictures up here just at first glance, oh, that had to be a tornado. That was really devastating pictures up there. Our chief photographer here at WFMJ said he's never seen storm damage so bad as up in Williamsfield, southeastern Trumbull County. But not a tornado. This was straight line wind damage or a macroburst. And macroburst is not something you hear very often. You hear microburst more, but a macroburst is a big microburst. And you don't see much of a sign of rotation on this radar image. What you do see is splat, a core of very strong winds right here. It's and my legend is off screen, but when you see that kind of tan color, that's Doppler radar estimated wind speeds of 90 to 110, and actually they estimated the maximum winds of 125 miles per hour with this. Much stronger than the tornado that occurred down in Calcutta. Just goes to show you again that wind is wind, and you don't need a tornado to cause tremendous amounts of damage. Not all, big wind damage events are tornadoes. Most of them aren't. Most of them are either microbursts or, in that case, a macroburst. Came up with this graphic this afternoon, kind of a describer of what a macroburst is. It's a rapidly descending column of air coming out of a storm, hitting the ground, splat, and then, of course, it has nowhere to go but out. And so it spreads out in all directions. And when these Weather Service teams come out and survey damage, they look at patterns in the damage. Which way are the trees tipped over or leaning over? Is there a pattern to them? Are they all leaning in the same direction? Or are they in more of a radial pattern? And that's how they can tell, that's one of the ways they can tell the difference between a tornado and not a tornado, the patterns that emerge in the damage. So they determined that in fact was a macroburst. Look at the severe weather reports yesterday. November is, I've been saying, November's our secondary severe weather season. It's certainly not as prominent as the main severe weather season back in, April, May, June, but we can get an uptick in severe weather at this time of the year, certainly. And not only did we have a tornado, of course, in the Calcutta area, but lots of confirmed tornadoes northwest Ohio. The Weather Service did lots of damage surveys. Sandusky County, Erie County, Ohio. Earlier on today, confirmed tornadoes out here. And it was a bad situation out there, and confirmed a tornado today east of Mansfield as well. This was, let me bring down the official report of this. Damage to home in Ashland County. So that was a confirmed tornado. Also, tornado reported closer to Worcester as well. Let me bring up the report on this one. This was in Wayne County near Worcester at about 5:52 last evening. Also confirmed tornadoes in northwestern Pennsylvania, up in Erie County in Pennsylvania. It's not showing up on my map here, but they did confirm tornadoes in northwestern Pennsylvania yesterday as well. When we look at the rotation tracks here on the radar, I'm going to back this up. A lot of rotation tracks. Now, not all of these, of course, were tornadoes or even funnel clouds, but radar indicated spin in the clouds. Here's our rotation with that Mahoning County storm moving through the Boardman area, just south of 224, where you see the purple. That's when that really gets our attention. The blues, not so much, but when we see purple on this graphic, that gets our attention. Here's down in Columbiana County. There's the rotating storm coming across Route 30 and heading across the state line like that. But again, when we look up in southeastern Trumbull, southeastern Ashtabula, northeastern Trumbull, you don't see any purple up there. That storm was not exhibiting many signs of rotation, so not a tornado. A lot of rain over the last 48 hours. Still have a flood warning out in parts of Beaver County, Pennsylvania, far as southern Lawrence County as well. And where we see some of these reds and brown colors, east central Ohio, a lot of places picked up 3+ inches worth of rain. Most of this, of course, occurring last night. All right, the weather's quieting down, and it's going to stay that way for a lot of the week. This storm to our southwest is going to stay to our south tomorrow, giving us clouds, but no precipitation. Temperatures have been going nowhere but down today. We reached our high just after midnight, and we'll continue dropping down into the 30s tonight. So again, that storm tomorrow is a miss to the south. A fairly cloudy and chilly day, though, tomorrow. We'll stay in the 40s. I think sunnier days are ahead Wednesday and Thursday. Our model here is trying to still keep some clouds around Wednesday. I'm not necessarily buying that. I think it still turns out to be fairly sunny. Same idea Thursday, but this is an Arctic cold front coming at the end of the week. Yes, our first really true invasion of legitimate Arctic air this season coming our way late Thursday night into Friday. I've really taken down our high temperatures on Friday and our low temperatures Friday night as well. It's an impressive looking disturbance coming down out of Canada, and it's going to have a pretty good shot of cold coming down with it as we go towards the end of the week and into the weekend. It's going to be accompanied by not crazy strong winds, but some wind, and so the wind chills on Friday probably don't get out of the mid-20s. Our actual high, 32, 33, pretty cold day. And then Friday night, air temperatures down around 20, wind chills in the mid-teens. So, of course, we have week 2 of the high school football playoffs Friday evening, and it is going to be cold. Next 10 days against average. Again, coldest air of the season so far coming our way. End of this week, start of the weekend. A recovery next week. It doesn't look like a real warm week, but I do think we return to near to somewhat above average as we go into next week. Wanted to real quick touch on the latest European weekly forecasts here, 7-day chunks going out for the next 46 days. And the trend overall, not only on this set of modeling, but on other modeling as well, has been colder. Not seeing the kind of warmth that it looked like we would have in the medium to longer range. So each 7-day chunk here, this is around Thanksgiving time, and then this is heading into the first week of December, second week of December coming through here. Pretty cold looking. I'm not saying this is exactly right, but the trends are colder as we start looking at the modeling as we go through the second half of November into early December. So that's an interesting trend, and it could have some implications for our winter forecast. Again, we'll be updating the official winter forecast December 1st, but I'll be throwing hints your way often on this video over the next few weeks. All right, have a great night, everyone. I'll see you back here tomorrow.